So in terms of business
Yep.
and embracing the digital world, where are we as a country?
I can say as a country, we are at a very prime stage of digital explorations. I think the government is doing enough, especially with, whenever you want to go online, the first thing is always to have access to servers or how that digital resource is hosted. So the initiative at Konza City is really interesting, and it's giving businesses at least a chance. It's going to give a lot of businesses a chance to, make that initial stage to go online. And going online is really wide, and opportunities there are also very wide. We've seen different initiatives with domain registration companies making access to .ke domains available for the country. And then now we have a lot of people and young people also getting into content creation and things to do with digital marketing. So this field is really interesting, and there's a lot to expect from it. Yeah.
All right, and now moving on and looking at Oracom Group and what you have been able to achieve by this time. Just explain to us in terms of the digital world and what you have been able to succeed.
Well, when I started Oracom Group, that was in 2010 after my days at Moi University. I had a dream to just see a way in which businesses can go online and be available, visible on the internet. And from that, I set up 14 companies, which have been really doing well. And these companies, what they do is just simple. They help businesses and brands to go online. So I've really seen and worked with a lot of people, a lot of talents, a lot of amazing people who have been able to help us create these things. And of course, I've learned a lot, especially when it comes to handling customers and when it comes to innovations as well, because I've gotten opportunities to attend a number of innovations. Especially KCB Lounge then was a very big eyesight for me. And from all these things and chances and opportunities like this, there are things that really help innovators or startups to just get up things. So these have really been crucial for the 12 years now that we've been able to put up these 14 brands.
All right, and now moving on and also looking at you mentioning all these companies, the 14 companies, how do you manage to make sure that all of these are operating digitally?
Yeah. It's always interesting. I remember when I started, it was just a single company, but I realized that for you to make a lot of noise or for you to be fully visible on the internet, you need different resources. So I started a concept called search engine optimization, and from there now I decided to separate all these businesses so that each can be visible on their own, and also to focus on a single product. So in there we have like products that focus on domains, products that focus on bulk SMS, products that focus on digital marketing, hosting, and all these things. When you put them all together, like the dream we've had at Oracom is to make sure that a customer who comes in, he gets everything in-house. So in there we have a studio where they can improve on their image or the pictures that they take, or they can have the short videos for their businesses, because it's very important for every business, especially the small ones, that they get it right. What we call becoming digitally fit. It's very important that they get it right. If they don't get it right, then that business cannot stand.
And also, looking at the digital technology and how it has transformed the role of data in decision making, tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, data is so huge, and data is very interesting. I think what the government is doing also on data, especially on privacy of information and access to data, it's very good now that we have a commission that deals with that. I've happened to attend a number of sessions on that, and I think up to now we're trying to put our companies to be fully compliant. But now, apart from that, when it comes to data, especially for a big business, it's, they always say data is the new oil. So I would say a company really needs to, whenever you think about starting your business, you need to have a strategy on data. And data is simple things: how you're able to refer to your customers, how you're able to store their information securely, and then how you're able to use that information to be able to serve a client, especially on their expectations. Because what we realize is data gives us a lot of things. There are many attributes about the data, or as a business person, as you start reaching out to customers and speaking to them about your business, there are many times that those customers would really want to be recognized, you know. Like for my business, what I do is I make sure that I save the person who calls me for a service, so that next time they're reaching out to me, I can refer them by name. So it's always very important that you be compliant on data, but also you use data in the right way to help you make informed decisions, especially while targeting on the right customer that would next become your client. Yeah.
And also in terms of communication, when we look at the digital business and the traditional forms of business, when you look at the two, how has digital business helped in terms of communication?
Huge and very different. Of course, from the major advantage that you can measure or you can analyze digital, anything that you do on the internet. But looking at the top, I think that's rated currently is on mobile messaging. You know, these days, so many people move around with their phones everywhere they are. So there are technologies on communications, you know, bulk SMS, WhatsApp communications, and all these aid in messaging, which is very important. Apart from that also, of course, the general way in which you'd handle your communications and PR as a company, very crucial for businesses. And social media has also contributed to a lot of this. So for a business, you need to, first of all, understand data. Then next, you need to look at ways in which you're able to communicate effectively and efficiently to your clients. And then lastly, now you are able to analyze and study all these facets that now contributes to your business. Yeah.
Now, let's move and look at a person who is in an area that the technology knowledge is not very much as an urban area.
Yeah.
How do they make sure that they also get into this? Because now where we are moving to a digital world. So what will happen to a person who doesn't really understand how this works?
So I think we handle this from a lot of experience that we've had. At the beginning of this year, we started what we call county visits. So what we are doing is going into each counties and listening to people, especially those who are having startups and beginning their businesses. What really caught my eyes was when we were at Eldoret and we met a young lady who had a dream of making chapatis, you know. And when we looked at the way they planned to do this business, that person just thought, I would just simply make the chapatis and then maybe put them in the streets and that's it. And she thought that's an innovation. So we've been able to move to each of these countries and each of these counties. And what you realize is that people are basically not digitally fit. Because you find somebody, they want to go online, but they have not done it like properly. So that has been the campaign, and that has been something that really drives me. That how can I make this mama from Eldoret to be digitally fit? How can I make this Mama Mboga who is in Kisii to make sure that they have enough digital resources that can make their businesses go another step higher? And how can a company which maybe is established benchmark on what the other companies in the different in the same category are doing from different countries? And not just from the rural, we are basically looking at ways in which people are able to connect, because also you realize in Nairobi there is connection, or within the urban centers there is connection. So businesses have to think of ways in which the guy with Mulika Mwizi, the guy who doesn't have the smartphone, they can still become digitally fit. And thanks to things like USSD, because now people are able to do everything basically without their smartphones. And all that is what we are advocating for at the campaign that we're doing called Digitally Fit Campaign.
And speaking of innovation, you cannot miss to mention the young generation. Someone starts a business and then 3 months down the line on Instagram maybe, they are like, this business is not really getting the following that it needs. So what really should make someone want to stick there even for 1 year, as much as they're not growing the way they expected to?
Actually, for us, we have a lot of information about this, because we decided to innovate our social media platform. So we see a lot of, we don't just see it on Instagram, on Facebook the way you see it, but from the back end we're able to see how people struggle with this. And to be honest with you, it's a very big struggle. what happens is sometimes I'm employed, and there's always the euphoria that when you start your own, you'll be the boss, so you'll be sleeping and things like that. But immediately you get into it, you realize it is a very different game.
Yes.
And what really makes this, like for me, what I've seen with the small business and startups is the most important thing is you have to get the digital way right. You have to make sure that you understand how you're going to market this business. You also have to make sure that you understand how you're going to grow this business, because you can imagine for your clients, one day you're selling shoes, the other day you are selling maybe clothes. So it confuses your clients, and you really need to get it right in terms of the branding. And all that is why we are saying businesses need to understand and get digital in the right way.
All right, and now let us also look at the KEOnline.
Yes.
What is it all about?
It's an innovation, actually. It's taken me 5 years to build it. 5 years just coding. We decided to code it from scratch. What we found lacking in the market was the ability for businesses to test. Because sometimes I want to go online, then I'll go look for a domain or go look for a website. Then I get someone who builds me a website. But me as the business owner, because it's a bit technical, I may not fully know what they did. Because after I pay them and I can see something within the front end, my website is there, I don't know the things that are really happening on the back end. So with KEOnline, it's basically a search engine. I tell you, we've just built a Google, and I think it's the next big thing. So KEOnline is a platform where you go and search for corporates or businesses and brands there. So when you search, it will show you if that business is already existing. And from there now, we give the businesses the first chance to be visible and be found by their clients, because it will tell you the name of the business, it will tell you the category of the services that they offer. Now, the most important thing about the KEOnline innovation is that we rank the businesses based on how digitally fit one business is. So Google ranks them based on SEO, but as we ranked on how digitally fit a business is. So every business is given a percentage. And from that, now you can see, when you go to keonline.biz, you can see the businesses that are sliding, which are the top businesses. So what we believe with this is that now the small mama mboga who goes online and they say, I want a website, or I want a domain, or I want to move away from my Gmail or my Yahoo, and I want to transform this business to be able to attract other people, other partners and other customers. So we're giving them a chance to be able to, by themselves, the owner of the business, now they can rate by themselves. So the platform basically gives you questions like a domain, and then it gives you best practices on a video for it, on the best practices. And then it gives you the next question. So we have there a total of 50 questions. So by the time you're done with all these questions, actually we've realized that many brands, including the big brands, when they finish the questions, they realize that it's a big thing. So we look forward to how different brands and companies are able to now look into this, and this is why we organize different avenues to award them, especially through now the Digitally Fit Awards that we have.
All right. And now, as we also conclude, just your advice to the younger generation that who are trying the digital space and feel like it's not working for them.
Digital is so big, and it's true, it cannot work for you if you don't have a strategy, if you don't understand how you are going to fully exploit on the digital opportunities. And talking from experience, 14 companies, and now having a chance even to work with, currently I have over 40 staff, and each one of them, coming in and doing their work. The thing is, if you don't strategize well for your business, it won't work. And there are sometimes that small exposures are very important. But now getting those exposures, especially for a startup, can be very difficult. So what we've been able to do at the KEOnline platform is we've been able to now onboard these businesses. And what we do with them step by step is to simply ask people questions that which are the brands or businesses that are creating an impact online that needs to be recognized. Of course, they change your life either through their website or their social media. And from this now, small businesses like the one you're talking about, if they get on board on the platform, from their initial stages, we are able to now help them. We are able to tell them that this is what you're doing right. Now you need to move to this stage, because digital also has several stages. And now the most important thing that now we do with them is we organize an award for them at the end of the year called Digitally Fit Awards. And at those awards, it's always a big explosion, because now they get recognized, and now they understand that this small thing I was doing in Bungoma, because we have almost 27 counties. This small thing I'm doing in Bungoma, this tent business or this shoe business, that it gets recognized at a national level is already a big thing and a blast for them.
All right. Thank you so much, Alphonse, for your time. All right. We have to continue now. The rate of inflation has risen for the 8th month to hit a high of 9.6% in October, driven largely by the cost of food. All right, now let us also, and fuel and electricity. According to KNBS, Director General MacDonald Obudho, the food and non-alcoholic beverages shot up to 15.8%. That of transport went up to 11.6%. Now, while the cost of utilities, including housing,